Welcome back to the Immigration Answers Show. My name is Jim Hacking. I'm an immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. Very happy to be with all of you today. Sorry we didn't have a show yesterday. It was Eid, it was the end of Ramadan. I got done fasting and we had a very nice day. We went to the morning prayer, which was actually outside at Queenie Park here in St. Louis. And then we went out for a little bit of breakfast. Then we chilled out for a little bit. Then we went bowling with the kids. And then we went out to a nice dinner at one of our favorite places here in St. Louis called Blueberry Hill. I hope you all are doing well and that your week is off to a good start. I'm glad to be with all of you today. If you haven't already, go ahead and let us know where you're watching the show from. What does this say? It says I'm not live in Immigration Answers Show. That's weird. Okay. All right. We're live everywhere now. If we weren't before, we are now. Everyone's saying hello. Rocio's here. She's wondering what happened to me yesterday. I just explained that. I will drop the link in the comments. If you haven't already, go ahead and let us know where you're watching from. And we'll get you on, and I'll try to answer all of your questions for the next hour or so. We'll be here till the top of the hour. Remember, everything you say here is public. And I just wanted to talk about something. I just got off a call with our client communication team, and apparently some people are surprised when they call the office that they can't just talk to me. Just to give you sort of a scale of our operations now, in the old days when we first started, it was Adela and I. So Adela and I sort of were the whole law firm for the first couple of years. And she would answer the phone and then she'd hand it over to me. And that was sort of how things are now. That's not how things are now. We get about 300 new contacts, new people contacting us every week, 300 people. So we actually have about 5 people on our leads team who sort of divide those up and follow up with people to see if there's something that we can help with. So if you're calling the office, it's very, very unlikely that you're going to talk to me. I don't take any unplanned calls. I don't take any just calls, urgent calls from people. A lot of people will call and say they're a friend of mine, even though I've never met them. So it's very unusual that you would get a chance to talk to me. That's sort of why we do the show, because people do have valid and important questions. And my thought was that for the most part, these questions are universal in nature and that everybody could listen and learn together, which is why we do the show. Now, we are increasing the not the budget, but the amount of effort that we put into the show. We want to make it as helpful and as user friendly as possible. So one of the things that we're doing is, you'll notice right now our friend Ramel from the communications coordination team, he is a great member of our team, very happy and funny guy. We were just on a call for the last hour, and he's going to be in the comments and trying to direct you. So like if a topic comes up about a video that I did, or prior issues, he or the other members of the communication team or the leads team are going to be in the comments sort of trying to feed you information. So Ramel will be sort of moderating the comments, the chats. I noticed the other day that I was spending a lot of time like reading the chat instead of talking to people. So it's going to be nice to have a little bit of extra support. And as you know, last week we had Abby Clark. She was on the show pinch hitting for Daniel. And Daniel, of course, is always on the show. So we're going to try to rotate different people in and out of the mix so that you get to meet different people on our firm. All right. We're going to bring in different lawyers, bring in members of all the different teams that we have, just so that you guys can get a chance to meet our team members. Looks like the waiting room is filling up. So let's go right ahead and get started. And our first guest today will be Mariana.
Hello, it's actually not Manya, but it's my wife's name. I
Got it.
came to US on F1 student visa, and I got married in 2019. Filed for I-130, and it just finally got approved recently. Um,
Great.
because my wife was a resident at that time. However, now she just had the interview for the citizenship on April 29th, and she's just waiting to um, uh, uh, go for the citizenship ceremony. So my
Okay.
question was if we should wait for her to become a citizen for me to apply for a green card and work and travel permit, or I can do it now.
Are you still on your F1 or are you done with school?
No, I'm so that's another question I had. I'm out of the F1 status, and I also overstayed my visa, so I think I became a subject to removal. And I also did OPT for a year, but then I kept working after my work authorization card expired.
Yeah, so I would probably just go ahead and wait until if she's that close to becoming a citizen. I would just wait until then. I mean, it's probably not going to matter much. It's always better to get it on file sooner rather than later. But having been out of status and now married to a green card holder, the fact that you're not in status at the time you're applying for adjustment is going to slow things down. So if she's weeks away from getting sworn in, I would just wait.
Oh, okay. I also wanted to ask another question. Should she put the my income as well on the other form, or
The
no?
affidavit of support?
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Nope.
And should we email the NBC once
Should
become a citizen?
yeah, that will be all because then I'm thinking we should then just wait for me to become for her to become a citizen and then apply
Sounds
better.
good. Good luck.
Yep. Thank you.
See ya. All right. All right. Let's keep it rolling. Hi, Inanam.
Hi. Hi,
How are you?
Good, good. So this is on behalf of myself and my husband. So
Sure.
I am actually a U.S. citizen, born in the United States, and he is a EU citizen. We filed for a green card last December. He got it in October, half a year ago. But now we are considering moving to the Netherlands for an academic post that he just got. But we are thinking it's possible that we may not like living in the Netherlands because I've lived in the United States for a long time. So we are thinking right now, if we move to the Netherlands and let's say we live there, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, and then we don't like the weather or something like that, and we want to go back to the United States, I'm guessing he would have to have dropped his green card by then. And then to apply to go back in, would I be able from the Netherlands to apply, because I know it takes a long time to get it approved. So would I be able to apply in the Netherlands already for that green card again?
So he has the green card in hand.
Yeah, he has it since October.
And have you ever heard of something called a reentry permit?
Yes, but I think for the issue of the reentry permit is that it only gives us like another year. But what if we want to come back after 2 years? Oh, 2
A
years.
reentry permit's for 2 years. Yeah, and you can renew it. You could file another one. So what I would do is, I don't. When would he be taking this job posting? Do you know?
In probably this summer, like in July
Yeah.
already.
So I'd file that reentry permit right away so that he gets fingerprinted, and then you guys can deal with tracking it down. Like maybe use a lawyer so that the lawyer gets a copy of the reentry permit, and then but get it on file, get the fingerprints done so that they can process it, and then once he has it, then he can stay out of the United States for up to 2 years without coming back. I mean, the other thing is he could always come back every 6 months, but that's going to be a hassle.
Okay, so if he comes back every 6 months, then that would also be another option.
That would solve his problem for not losing his green card, but it doesn't, if he ever wants to apply for citizenship, I don't know if he does, but he's going to need half the time in the United States when he applies for citizenship. But that doesn't sound like that's what you're worrying about right now.
Right. No, just worrying about possible reentry in a few years. So just quick. So you said you can do it for 2 years, and then you can even extend it a little more.
Yep.
How many times can you do it? Just a quick question.
The most I've ever seen it is 4.
4. Okay.
So that'd be 8 years.
Great. Would it be possible, because I'm not sure if I've heard the biometric appointment takes some time to get signed. We might already be out of the country by then. Would he just need to fly back to do that? And then
that could technically work, but lately they've been keeping track of that a lot more than they used to. So, I mean, what should have happened is you should have filed this back in October, but I guess you didn't even know about the job. So,
yeah.
the best time, they say the best time to plant a tree was 3 years ago. The next best time is today. So get it on file today or tomorrow and go from there. Just deal with it as it comes.
Okay, but you think if we accidentally get a date after we plan leaving already, that it would or wouldn't be possible for him to come back to do the?
It would.
It would be possible. Okay.
Possible.
And then
not
okay,
ideal.
this last. If let's say we're there for 5 years, would it be possible from the Netherlands to apply for the green card?
Oh, you don't want to do that. Don't give up the green card. Do everything you can to keep the green card. You fought too hard to get it, and it's a lot harder to get a second time. When they give you the green card, and then after a while you say, "Nah, I don't really want it. Here you go." Then why would they believe you the next time you say, "I want to come live in the United States"? They're gonna say, like, "Yeah, we already answered that question. We said yes," and then you spit in our face.
So you think, but even let's say because like a professor job, we might be there for 5 years. It's pretty likely. So you're saying there's no way that to get the green card again or to apply from there again?
I'm not saying there's no way. I'm saying it's less than ideal. I'm saying if I were you, I would do everything I can to keep his green card for as long as you can.
Yeah, but would it be possible?
Yes, it's possible. But no. I mean, yeah, you'd have to do. I mean, then you have a whole other problem because at that point the problem is, well, why should we give you lawful permanent residence when your spouse has been living in the Netherlands for the last 5 years? They don't even reside in the United States. So why should we give you a green card? It's all surmountable. It's all winnable, but these are just hurdles you're giving yourself.
Oh, okay. I don't want to take too much time. Anyway, so thanks. So do you know where we could get information though about that possibility, about the long, like doing it?
See, you keep asking me for certain answers. This is immigration, right? There's no certain answers in immigration. You either take your shot or you don't. You either, you do what's best. You don't get a precise answer. This isn't science. It's not like if you do this, and this, you have a guarantee on the back end. Donald Trump could come back into office in 2 years. Then what the hell is going to happen? Who the hell knows? So you're asking for precision from something that's very messy.
Okay, got it. Thanks so much for your time, Jim. I appreciate it.
Have a great day.
Okay, bye.
Good luck in the Netherlands. All right. That's one thing, everyone always thinks, oh, if I push this button and push that button at USCIS, everything's going to work out, but that's not how it is. I wish it was, but it's a lot less precise than all that. What's up, Rajiv?
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Yeah, very good. After a while back.
I recognize your smile. What can I help you with?
Yeah, I just have a few questions. So as I told you even in my last chat, I had an interview for my I-485, back in March 10. So I haven't heard from them anything yet, and I'm currently in my OPT status, done with the school. F1 is done. In my OPT status, I'm married to U.S. citizen. At the filing, she was a green card. Then in last year, July, she got her citizenship beyond 400. So we did update that one also before the interview. And at the interview also, we submitted the copy of passport, US passport of my wife.
Great.
So I have a question is so let's suppose, right, in the worst case, let's say my case, my 485 got denied, right? But let's say my I-130 is still pending there, right? Will I be able to refile if I don't have any status because my OPT is expiring? So
your spouse is now a U.S. citizen. Yeah, you'd be
yeah,
okay. Now, let's back up a little bit. What field office did you have your interview at?
Philadelphia,
And how long was your interview?
March 10 this year.
No, I mean, how long? The interview itself, was it 10 minutes long? Was it 3 hours long?
20 to half an hour.
Did they
30
separate you
minutes.
at all?
Yeah, we did had a stroke interview.
Oh, and did you have an attorney or did you file it on your own?
I had an attorney with me.
And what the attorney say as far as how you did comparing
As
your
far
answers
as
to your spouse?
the comparing the answer, like we are very confident, all the answer matches.
Do you have any guess as to why they separated you and why they're sitting on your case? Usually they would just finish it and approve it right there.
It might be like I had a green card file before also, but it was EV3. You know,
Is that still pending?
yeah. No, we withdrew the case.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean I
I don't
withdrew
know.
the case. So
I don't know.
yeah. So for the
What?
my main question is that if the I-130 it's been approved or it's been pending, right? I'm not
Yeah.
sure when it's gonna be approved.
But
I
why
believe
do
it
you,
will
but
be pending.
yeah, but why you haven't told me anything that makes me think your 45 is going to get denied.
Yeah, there is a one question, right? Like you know, yes no question where we have a like did you work like unauthorizedly or something like that, right? I had a bad, I mean, misunderstanding what's the meaning of unauthorization work. So it means later on I figured out it's the violation of the status or something, right?
Right.
So I believe, yeah, there I choose the wrong answer. I was not sure like what that exactly mean. Instead of saying yes, I hit no. So even though
So,
like currently
okay.
I'm married to a citizen, I think it should be waived even if I work without authorization.
Okay. So, I mean, you've probably overwhelmed them with all of your stuff. So, if we think it through, you've been on an F1, you had OPT, you
Hmm.
applied for a work-based green card in the EB3 category. They're as I've mentioned on the show before, they're not big fans of EB3 green cards. They don't know how to handle them and they think half of them are fraud. So
Yeah,
then we have that piece. Then we have when you married your spouse, when you filed with your spouse, they had a green card. Now they're a citizen. So that has just, that should make things go faster, but that's not really, that sort of confuses them, right? And so then with all those things put together, I think they're just sitting on the case because there's something they don't like. I don't know why they would Stokes interview you though. It seems weird. So you might end
yeah,
up
it was
you might end up calling me back in 2 or 3 months and saying I need to sue them because nothing's happening.
okay. And I did an expedite request for my work permit also because my OPT is expiring and I cannot
Yeah.
work from next month. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
I
you might
believe
you might want to sue them sooner rather than later. When did you file the I-130 and the 45?
it's last year, June 2nd.
Oh, so it's not been
This,
that long. Yeah. So if you
yeah,
haven't heard something by like August or September, I mean, we could also just sue them on the EAD too, though. So whatever you want to do.
okay. So yeah, so after the 90 days of the interview, I can submit the inquiry, right, for the
Yeah,
green
but that's
card?
not gonna do it. That's not gonna do anything.
Yeah, okay. The one last again the same question. With the I-130 pending, if I don't have even any status, no F1, no OPT, I can still reapply, right?
Yeah.
For the
Yeah.
for
Don't
the
worry about that.
advantages.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
Don't worry about reapplying. You want to win this case. You should be
yeah.
concentrating on this case.
Okay, that answers my questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Rajiv. See you, buddy.
Thank you, very. Thank you, bye.
Oh, here's our friend Vadim. You're sitting in the exact same spot you were sitting the last time you came on. Did you have your interview?
So here's the deal, right? My wife just had a phone call, and they say in a message they say they canceled it.
Mm.
I'd like to know what's going on, or should we just show up anyway so they don't say later that we didn't appear?
It was an automated message you said, or it was a person?
From a person saying, "Hey, we have a staffing problem," and I told her that if that same person calls her back, she should say, "Hey, can this interview even be waived under the new rule? Because we have overwhelming evidence like this big."
Right. So when was the interview supposed to be?
This coming Thursday at 11 a.m. over in
And
Boston.
when did they call? I knew it was Boston. When did they call?
She received a voicemail message today, this morning.
Oh, did you save it?
Yeah, I have it. Yeah, she sent me. Yeah, I have a voice message.
So here's what I would do, Vadim. I would send them a letter today by Federal Express to the field office saying that we received this voicemail telling us that the interview is canceled. We're not going to appear because of the voicemail. Please reschedule it as soon as possible. You want to document it that they told you that they weren't going to proceed. So yeah,
What
you
are
want
you
to have a record.
up?
I
On
mean,
Thursday?
you could show up on Thursday, but I think you're just going to get frustrated.
That's weird because, first of all, the new rule states that not everyone should appear if they went through consular process.
Right.
And
Did she has she traveled at all recently? No.
well, she
She
refused to travel.
hasn't traveled since she came. I don't know, bud. That's all I got.
Yeah, no problem. But that's that's what happening with the US lately. So they understaff and there's a big old mess as always.
It's a big old mess. Keep us posted, okay?
Thank you, Jim. You have a good day.
Bye, buddy. You too. All right. Let's say hi to Ola. Ola, are you with us?
Yes, this is me. Good afternoon, Jim.
How you doing?
Good. We really appreciate all your efforts helping immigrants life all over. So, just a quick help that I need here. I have a younger sister in Nigeria who needs to come to the United States for my mom's funeral. So she requested a date recently, and she was denied that, because she applied for emergency appointment, but unfortunately, she was denied and not given appointment. So all what we just need now is just, help to secure an appointment for her. She has all the documentation she needed to apply, for the interview to secure the visa, but there's no appointment, unfortunately.
So this is your mother passed away. That's your mother passed away, and now some who wants to come?
My younger sister.
Okay, so first of all, let me say I'm sorry about your mother. That's sad. My dad passed away in December, so I know that's really hard. And my friend's mom just passed away.
I'm sorry about that. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and so did she already have her interview, or was her expedite request denied, or was her visa refused?
The expedited request for interview appointment was denied. So, and she's never been to the United States before. She's never been. So, but we want her to come and pay her last respect,
Yeah, I think the chances of this working are very, very small. Most embassies aren't working on visit visas right now, and each embassy is sort of free to do what they want, to prioritize what they want. So, I mean, is she able to even schedule an appointment with the DS-160 or no?
No, for regular appointment, they said the next available date is like 2024, like around March, April of 2024. Yeah, it's so much backlog. I don't know. I guess too many people applying to get appointment. So, but for the emergency one, the expedited appointment, they do give people, sometimes if they see the urgency. But for her, she was just denied outright. So, and we don't know what to do.
So, where do you live, and where's mom's funeral going to be?
In Austin, Texas.
That sucks, because that means your senators are Cornyn and Cruz. They're not going to be any help. I mean, I don't think there's much you can do, Ola. I don't think she's coming.
Wow. And the decision cannot be appealed, or
No, and there's nothing I can do. I can't sue them for something like this. For visit visas, they have like complete discretion to do what they want.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Jim.
Sorry, Olu. See ya.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Let's say hi to Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Jim. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. I appreciate your offer and we're grateful.
What can I help you with?
I applied for green card since 2019, and we are family of 4. My son get his green card. He get his approval. But for me and my 2 family member, we get request of evidence. They ask us about their question about arrested, and we answer no for this question. That's why they ask, because they have like evidence that we get arrested by ICE. Like
Is that
we did
true?
mistake at the phone. Yes, it is true, because we applied for asylum a long time ago, like 8 years ago, and we get approval by the court.
Judge?
Yeah, by the judge. But when we get arrested by ICE, they ask every time for come to the office to do interview, and at that day, they ask us to sign paper like we give them our right to remove us. That's the day when they arrested. But we didn't get arrested. I go back home.
Did you get handcuffed?
No.
Did you get fingerprinted?
Yes.
You have
But
to
I
give,
refuse
so
to sign.
yeah, that's okay. So but right now, so you're just guessing this is why your case is pending and your son's got approved. You don't know that this is the reason, right?
Yes.
Do you know why, or is that just you guessing?
No, but I'm guessing because they request for evidence, and they you answer one of the question wrong. Like we said, we didn't.
There's people make mistakes on their 45s all the time. That's not the problem. Let's back up. When did you come to the United States?
2014.
And when did you apply for asylum?
As the same after 1 week.
And you went to the asylum office and they got denied and you got sent to the judge, right?
No, I didn't get denied. I went to the asylum office and my case pending for like 2 years, and then I get interview, and then my husband get interview, and he get interview for second time, and our case is still pending, and then they ask us to come to interview, then the ICE ask to sign those papers.
What papers? That you were giving up your asylum case?
Yes. And I give them permission to remove me, removal.
Okay, then what happened?
Then I refused to sign those papers and then send my paper to the court. When I went to the court, I get approval by the judge.
And when did that happen, Sarah?
2019.
And which immigration court?
Buffalo.
And then where do you still live in Buffalo now, or do you live somewhere else?
No, I live at New York, Albany, New York.
So then what, you applied for your green card? Your whole family applied for green cards in 2019.
Correct. After 1 year, and 18. After 1 year, we applied for the green card. Yes.
Have you had? I'm sorry if you told me this already. Have you had an interview on your green cards or no?
No.
Yeah. So you're gonna you need to sue them.
Whoa.
Yeah, you need to sue them because they're just sitting on your case. Your case is 2.5 years old. You should have had this case should be over. So I say this all the time. When you get asylum it's hard to get a green card. When you get asylum and you're from a Muslim country and you got it from the immigration judge, that's a whole other thing. So they don't like it when the immigration judge gives people asylum. So I'm not surprised that your case is being delayed, but you're going to keep on waiting until you sue them. There's too many marks on your case. You had that interaction with ICE. They, tried to kick you out. You got your asylum from an immigration judge. There's too many things. They're not looking at your file. It's over there in the corner. They're not even thinking about you. So if you want to get them to pay attention, you need to sue them.
Yeah, the thing that make me surprised because my son get approval. He get already his green card.
Yeah, that's weird.
But from different office, because our file gets separate. He came from different office.
He lives somewhere else?
No, he didn't live somewhere else. But when we apply, we go to different office. Like
that's weird.
They send our paper. Yeah.
Did you file for your green card with a lawyer or no?
No, my husband did it.
With a lawyer or no?
No, just by himself.
Yeah, no, you guys should have used a lawyer from the get-go, and you also should have requested your whole immigration file from the immigration court. Your case is too complicated to do without a lawyer.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
So if you want to
I'm
sue,
gonna.
let us know. If you want to sue, let us know. If you want us to take over the case, let us know. Just, give us a call or email us, whatever you want.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm good.
Bye, Sarah. Have a good day. Eid
You
Mubarak.
too. Bye. Thank you. Appreciate it. Eid Mubarak.
Bye. Let's say hi to Jaron. Hi, Jaron.
Hi, Mr. Hacking. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Middle of the night, but I'm doing well.
Where are you?
In Taiwan.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Taiwan, yes.
That's great.
So,
Well, what can I help you with?
sure. So I am a U.S. citizen. I'm currently married to an Australian citizen, but living in Taiwan. And let's see, how do I go about this? So I filed an I-130. About 9 months ago is when we received the receipt notice.
Okay.
The receipt notice was from Nebraska Service Center, but later found out that it was in California, or processing in California. When trying to look at the processing times from California, it says it's between 6.5 to 8.5 months. And I've watched enough of your shows to know that that doesn't mean much. But I tried to file an e-request online, but it states that our dates are currently within the posted processing times. And I have talked to many USCIS Tier 1 officers, and they also say that that shouldn't be right. And so I talked to enough of them until one of them finally was okay with helping me. And she was kind enough to send a general service request to the California Service Center.
Yeah.
We waited 3 weeks and ended up getting back that the email that we provided them was not authorized for receiving information, or they weren't authorized per their records. The email that we gave them was not authorized to receive information or something. And so I don't know if you've ever heard of this happening. I think that's my situation.
I'll tell you what I've heard is that they just make shit up to get you off the phone. That's what I've heard. They just make shit up to get you off the phone. So let's back up. So when your receipt notice is 9 months ago?
Yes, sir. August 3rd, 2021.
And when was the last time, Jaron, that you yourself lived in the United States?
Almost 5 years ago.
And if I were to ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being very, very little marital evidence and 10 being we sent everything but the kitchen sink, where would you say you fall?
I'd say around a 6 or a 7, and that's so I've been married for 2 years now, and so we don't have any bills because the landlord we just pay the landlord, and that's how that goes. We do have, like, we have been living together for 2 years now, so we've sent in the us living together, and pictures and affidavits from both of our family, like both of our mothers, really. And so I don't know. I would say that's a 6 or a 7, but
I'd say that's like a 3. But I don't think
okay.
I don't think the delay is related to the merits of your case. I just think they're just way backlogged right now, and they're trying to work on the brand new cases to cut down on future backlogs. Not that that helps you. I think you're just waiting till August. If you don't have a decision on the 1-year anniversary, call us back and we can sue them. But a couple of things that occur to me that I'm glad you called. Number one, I want you to keep thinking about better marital evidence. So I would tell the landlord, I need to start documenting that we're living here together. I need to start building a record. So even if it's just receipt, if he gives you a monthly receipt that itemizes everything, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you can prepare it and he can just sign it, right? But as long as it says what you're paying for and what you get and who the tenants are every month. That's, if we do that till August, or even if we go backwards and do it, then we're going to have evidence that you've been paying this person for all that stuff. That's one thing. The other thing I want to talk about is, if I were to ask you, what ties to the United States can you show me, having lived outside the United States for the last 5 years? Like, do you own property, bank account? Have you paid taxes? That kind of stuff.
So yes, I've been up to date with my taxes every year, and I have a bank account still. And I think the biggest thing is I have my healthcare license is current, so I have to always renew my healthcare license every couple years, and continuing to get continuing education courses, and to keep that current. So those are the main two, I think, are my bank account and healthcare license. But
And when you say healthcare license, what do you do?
Physical therapy.
I wonder if there isn't, with that hook that they have right now of the healthcare priority stuff, I wonder if you couldn't use that to try to get them to, I mean, I would try to get a tier 2 officer, number one, so that you're talking to somebody relatively intelligent, and then tell them, look, I'm a healthcare worker. I work in physical therapy. I'm trying to come back to the United States, and I want to be able to bring my wife when I come. So maybe you guys could push this along.
Do you have a recommendation, I guess, as to, I mean, maybe you don't, as to how to contact a tier 2? I know it takes a little while, so we're actually still waiting. They should be. We actually did it a month ago, but they never called. They emailed. But then, we did it again, and now we're also waiting again to hear back from a tier 2 officer. But I'm aware that.
Yeah. The other thing, I think you should come back to the United States at some point soon, around the approval notice time, or like right before or after. I think we need to start showing some more ties for you. I think 5 years being outside is a really long time. So even if you just come back to see your family for a week or two, I think that would be helpful for future, for the visa center part.
I'm planning in August to. I'm gonna miss my wife a lot, so I'm not really wanting to, but I'm planning in August to come back.
Jaren, I'm gonna encourage you to. And has she ever been to the United States?
She has not. No.
And she's on Australian passport?
Yes.
Because, like, let's just say if an Australian citizen came to the United States on ESTA and came for a visit, and then, while they were here, they said, boy, this really sucks waiting in Taiwan. I might like to just stay here and try to adjust status. That might, I don't know how much of a hurry you guys are to get to the United States, but that might be an approach. Now, she can't decide that she's going to do it before she comes, but if she was here and waited a while and said, yeah, this is what I want to do, I don't want to wait anymore outside the United States, that might be a route that might help things out. Now,
I realize maybe this can't be answered online, but is her going to the United States now, though, even on a visitor's visa, is kind of impossible, right?
Well, she can get ESTA, right? Australia is part of the visa waiver program, so she wouldn't need a visa.
I guess that is correct. I just didn't know how that would be because I've heard things just with the I-130, and while it's processing, going there, I didn't know if that was viable or not.
There's videos of me ranting and raving about that. Yeah. No, I mean, as long as she's always honest, as long as, like if the thing is, if she were to come and they could say, oh, you're coming here to stay. You want to stay here with your husband, and you're trying to jump the line, and we don't think you're really coming on a non-visit visa, and they could revoke her ESTA and send her back to Taiwan. I think the chances of that are pretty small. So, but you do have to weigh all that, and most importantly, she'd have to be honest. She's like, no, I'm just coming. My husband hasn't been home in 5 years. He wants to see his family. I thought I'd come with him. Do you have an I-130 pending? Yeah, I got an I-130 pending. So what? You guys, if you hurried up, I could just come, but I'm just coming to visit, and then go, then deal with the other stuff later.
Sure. I appreciate that advice. That's extremely helpful.
Well, like such a person wouldn't want to be dragging their wedding dress or their every earthly possession from Australia and Taiwan into the United States. But if they're
Of
coming
course.
for a visit, it's all about their intent. So if they have the intent, I'm gonna jump the line, I'm gonna screw the State Department, I'm gonna screw USCIS, and I'm gonna get this green card as soon as we land in the United States, that's bad. But if they come and they say, boy, this wait has really been long, I'm really tired, Jared and I are tired of dealing with that landlord who won't even give us any damn paperwork to show that we live there, we're going to do it all here in the United States. If they had that kind of an epiphany, then sort of that might actually work,
Yeah, thank you. That's very helpful, and it's very informative for me. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Hacking. Do you mind, can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
For on the I know, on the I-864, for the country of domicile, what do you recommend me putting Taiwan, or I'm not sure what to put in preparation. I'm just preparing.
Yeah, I'd put US. I would never want to concede that my domicile is outside the United States. I'm on a long sabbatical.
Okay. Yeah, and just provide the evidence for why it is in the US. Okay. Okay. That's extremely helpful. All right. Yeah, no problem. Is she the applicant, by the way? I guess, sorry, 3 questions.
That's okay.
Is she the applicant?
I don't know. I haven't looked at an I-64 in a while, but yeah, I think she is. She's the applicant.
Oh, okay. For the I-130, I didn't know who was considered the petitioner and who was the applicant. And
you're the petitioner.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Good luck, Jaron.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And
bye, buddy.
Yeah, have a great day.
See you, man.
Bye.
All right, let's say hi to Kareem. Hi, Kareem.
Oh, hey, Jim. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Sorry about your loss, about your dad that I heard earlier.
Oh, thanks. Yep.
Okay. So if you remember, I called I don't even remember how long ago was that, about the N3036. So after 2 years, finally, they woke up and they gave us an appointment for an interview. And we drove down to Minneapolis with our attorney. And we went in, and the officer called my wife, and they didn't even go into the office. They sort of just, waited by the door. And she said she already made up her mind 10 days ago. She's going to approve the case and no need for an interview, period. Which it was very odd. Someone actually did their homework, read through 415 pages of evidence and proofs and whatnot.
How long ago was this, Kareem?
This was the March 29th.
Okay. And just real quick, so this is are you the U.S. citizen, I'm assuming?
Yes.
So this is a marriage-based green card, or did your spouse come on a fiancé visa?
No, marriage. She applied for her N400. For some reason, there was a misunderstanding in interview. The officer thought we were not together. Because I work for the U.S. government, I went overseas. My wife said she took separation because I'm not home, and the officer thought we were separated. So anyway, we provided all the evidence and everything. There was just a simple misunderstanding. And we went there, we submitted to get it corrected. It took 2 years for them to make an appointment after one appointment was canceled due to the George Floyd verdict on the April 20th. So anyway, but now a day later, they just did a slight update on her case. It says closed. And there is a little I in a little black dot circle that was supposed to have some kind of an information, but there's nothing there. Now on the N400, it says, concurring or something like that. Anyway, I talked to them a couple of days ago through chat, and they said, I asked why the case has not been updated. I mean, it's still the good old thing. I mean, nothing has been changed. And they said the case has been reopened. But we haven't heard anything on a document. We haven't heard anything.
Okay, let's back up. Let's back up. Okay, so Kareem, were you born in the United States?
No.
How did you become a citizen? How'd you get your green card?
Oh, we came from Iraq in 1996 on that Bill Clinton evacuation out of Iraq.
Okay.
So
And then
been
you got your
living in the
green
United
card, and
States.
then
Right, right.
And then how about your spouse? When she got her green card based on marriage to you?
Yes, in 2016.
And then when did she apply for citizenship?
Just 3.5 years after that, which is in 2018, about late 2018.
And then
Oh,
and then what happened? What was this stuff about you? What happened next? So she files for citizenship in 2018. Then what happens next?
and then she was called in for an interview, just as usual.
When?
And I think it was in 2019, July 2019.
And she applied on the 3-year rule as the spouse of a U.S. citizen.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And so she goes to the interview by herself, but you're overseas helping the government.
Yep.
Okay. So she goes to the
So
interview by herself, and how was that did she do the test and everything?
yes,
And when was that interview, Kareem?
that was in July. I think I said July 2019.
Okay.
It was a very
nothing.
quick respond initially.
Yeah. Okay. So but she passed the test, and nothing since July 2019 until recently when you got called back for a second interview. Is that it?
No. So they do a little interview because it's based on a marriage, right?
Yeah.
So when the officer asked my wife, when you came to United States, who did you live with? So she said, I lived with my sister. Well, my wife and I, with my kids, we did reside with my brother, and my brother's married to her sister. So it's the officer did not follow up with a question, say, okay, who else lived in that house? So the officer assumed that we were separated. That was an assumption.
Right.
So and all of a sudden I reappear on the interview. So the way they calculate, they said, well, you guys were not together for about a year and a half. That was an assumption. So she was denied. We filed N336, okay, with all the evidence. Of course, we filed with the attorney. I went with the attorney all the way through. So it took them 2 years to finally give us the interview.
On
and
the
during the
N336.
interview, right? During the interview,
Sorry, that was the one that was very short, where she said in the doorway that I decided 10 days ago to approve this.
Yep. After the 2 years keeping their file in their office, they decided to review it, and they said, well, all the evidences are there. I'm going to approve the case. I mean, you guys can come in and have a sit down in my office, but that wouldn't do anything good because I already made up my mind and the case is approved. Have a nice day. What was the date of that, Kareem? That was March 29th of last month.
And nothing since.
We haven't heard anything other than one note was added to her case. It says N336 closed. But on the upper part, which is N400, it says concurring or something like that. Like basically reopened. What does that mean?
What's your lawyer say? This is an interesting case.
It is. Well, the lawyer said that's a great news. It's approved, and let's go home, and they will send her the ceremony note or something. So it's been almost now going on 31 days after this whole thing happened, and we're still waiting. I haven't seen any update on the immigration system, nor any paper other than that closed thing on her account. We sign up for an account with the immigration just to keep track of where everything at. But we haven't seen any update, and we haven't seen any paper.
I mean, it's interesting because N336s are different, and an N336 is not another N400. An N336 is an administrative hearing. You and your wife had the right to call witnesses. You and your wife had the right to ask them to subpoena witnesses. There's all kinds of stuff. So they completely deprived you of due process by I need to do a video on like when the officer acts like they're your friend and they've already decided that shit. Like that's a thing. Like they are. This is just another version of the game. They're just playing another version of the game, and you know, she might get an oath ceremony in the mail tomorrow. Now I know Minneapolis is one of the ones. Is she changing her name, Kareem, or no?
Yes, the last name.
She's changing her name. So that means
Yep.
okay. So the one thing that it could be is that Minneapolis is built for same day oath ceremonies. Now, not on an N336, but they're used to administrative naturalization ceremonies. In other words, that the immigration officers can do the ceremony at the end of your interview. But when you change your name, you got to see a federal judge. So the one thing I would try to find out, Kareem, either yourself or your lawyer, is have they been conducting ceremonies at the federal courthouse since March 29th? If they've had like 3 or 4 of those, then that means they're screwing with you. If they haven't had any, that means they're waiting for enough people to gather up enough to have a ceremony. Now, you know, we have 3 ceremonies a month in St. Louis. We don't have administrative ceremonies like you guys do, but I'd be surprised if they don't have at least one a month. So you might call the federal courthouse and say, hey, how often or when is it like for us on our court website, they print all the dates that they have these ceremonies. So that's what you want. You want to find out if they've been having basically you want to know if they've been having ceremonies without you, without her. That's what you want to know.
Okay. We live in North Dakota, so it's not as dense as other states. So
okay, no, that brings up another point. Now, I don't know how they do that up there. Now, this might not be as bad as
court.
Huh? Yeah.
They go to federal court. Yeah.
Right. So, and now that could be
another factor. But then why nothing has been updated?
Because okay. So we don't need to call the federal court in Minnesota. We need to call the federal court in North Dakota and say, hey, I believe my wife's case was approved back on March 29th. USCIS told me it was approved back on March 29th. When I look online, it seems that it's approved. When are your ceremonies? Because my wife needs to get sworn in. So I think because of the name change, it has to be in federal court. And I think my understanding is, it has to be in the federal court for the state in which she lives. Like here in St. Louis, we're right across the river from Illinois, and the Illinois people have to wait for an Illinois ceremony, a Southern Illinois, not Chicago. So this probably might not be as bad as we think. It might just be that North Dakota only has like 1 or 2 oath ceremonies a year.
Right.
I think that's
they don't have
I think she's in good shape.
Yeah, I mean, I had the attorney with. I mean, what are they going to say? It wasn't us. We have the ticket number when she was called in. I mean, we have all that.
Mm-hmm.
But my attorney did send a letter about a week ago, asking, "Hey, guys, hello, we're here." You know, just a reminder.
Well, I bet that's it, Kareem. I think we figured it out.
Okay. Well, I hope.
Good luck, my friend.
That's all I have, folks. Thank you so much, and thanks for what you do.
You got it. See you later.
Okay. Have a great day. Yep. Bye.
Bye, Kareem. All right. So look, we got some details here too. So Brand says, I live in North Dakota, and I had my interview in Duluth, Minnesota, February 23rd, and my oath ceremony March 17th. So that was a month. Now that was probably, Brand, I would imagine, not an N336, a straight N400. So it might be that something fell through the cracks from the denial and then the appeal and the win. So that might be it. And Rose wants to know why I spend a lot of time talking to one person when the waiting room is all jam-packed. Why not give 5 minutes to all callers? Well, here's the great thing, Rose. I do this show the way I want because it's my show. And I'd rather help 8 people figure out their shit than have 20 people run through and we don't figure anything out. So we just figured out what's happening to Kareem's case, and I'd much rather do that than just try to, hit a couple people fast. Ahmed.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great.
So the issue is I applied for neutralization on June 5, 2020. And during the first year, I finished everything. The interview, passed the test. The officer says, "Congratulations, your case is sent for approval. Just wait for the ceremony." And on April, they scheduled me on a ceremony. It was supposed to be mid-May last year, and just about 10 days before the ceremony, they canceled it. I did not receive a notice. It was just on USCIS website canceled. I had to go there, and they told me they're like, "Hey, by the way,
Oh,
there's something wrong. We will put you on expedite process. Just give us
mhm.
some time. We'll call you again." And it's been a year. And
It
I'm still
sucks.
still waiting. I contact couple time. All I got is just wait. I reached to my senator, local senator. He asked them. They do the run on my case, and they said, "We are still waiting on your background check." I kept filing for out of normal processing time because it's been like 2 years running. And last time they told me, "We already did run in your case like 2 months ago when the Senate called, asked them." And I just don't know what to do. It's been like a year.
Where do you live? Which field office?
Ohio, it's Cincinnati.
And did you ever work with the U.S. military?
Negative.
How did you get your green card?
I got it for, it was a refugee. I think 90, I-90 or 94. I forgot what it's called. It's like when you come for a refugee, and after 5 years, you can apply for citizenship. You get your green card right when you enter the date on it.
Right.
But what kills me is I have nothing in my background. Like I never missed my tax. I never been in jail or any court. I don't have a driving violation. It's perfectly clear. It's just what's going on.
What country are you from?
Iraq.
And
That's probably why.
Yeah, when you call them and ask them now, what do they say?
So they don't let me through the phone. The answer machine is really mean person. It's just tell me if you like, what can I help you, and doesn't move me through to the officer, and sometimes just hang up. But one time I tried to schedule appointment. That's how I passed it, and they said, "We don't see anything wrong in your case. Just there's some bending in the background check. Just wait. There's nothing we can do."
So your case is probably it's the first kind of lawsuit that I started filing. It's the one that works the best. So there's a federal statute that says if you've had your interview and 120 days go by, so that's 4 months, you can file a lawsuit in federal court and ask a judge to decide whether or not you get your citizenship or to order them to do it within a certain amount of time. It's a specific statute. It only applies to citizenship cases. And in fact, it only applies to citizenship cases where there's been an interview. So you check all those boxes, right? It's 8 USC 1447B. And 81447B says that you can ask the judge to naturalize you. So we could file a lawsuit for you in federal court, and we would send a copy of that lawsuit to USCIS. They would get it and they'd go, "Oh shit, Ahmed's case, we forgot all about that. Let's get working on that," so that we don't want the judge to decide. We want to decide. So then they'll call me up and they'll say, "Jim, we're ready to give a decision on Ahmed's case." And I say, "Okay, great." So then they'll give you a decision. So I think if we sued them, you'll get a decision in about 2 months, 2.5 months.
Okay, so but they gave me decision for approval. It's just the ceremony. It's been canceled.
Yeah, but I think that's bullshit. So I have a whole video on that. I think that until you have the benefit in hand, until you're holding that green
Got
card,
it.
until you're holding that certificate of citizenship, it's as if it wasn't approved. That's my position.
Sure. Okay. Perfect. I will contact the office.
Thanks, Ahmed. See you, buddy.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, have a great night. All right, everybody, that'll do it for this show. I actually got to go do a lawyer show on my other thing for Maximum Lawyer. So I will be back. Let's see, today's Tuesday, so tomorrow is Wednesday, and we will be on tomorrow at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll be live for 1 hour. And for those of you who did sign up for the show updates, you knew that we didn't have that show yesterday. So if you want to be in the know and know every single day when we're going live, we send out a text every day. So if you just send, it's free. If you send a text to text the word show to 314, I got to wait for the number, 314-470-3300, you'll find out when we're going live. And like I said, we'll be live tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central. We'll see you then. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.